So I want to react to this today because this is so true about the media when it comes to the NFL media and how everything shakes out. So Joe Flacco today, oh not today, but a couple days ago, went off on the media, and here's what he had to say. Let me go ahead and play this video.
It's a talking point. You can kind of like use it because it's a good question to bait somebody into answering, and no matter how they answer it, it kind of makes the guy that's answering it look bad. If I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look bad. If I say I do want to be a mentor, then I look like an idiot that doesn't care about being good and playing football. So it's one of those questions that no matter what I say, you guys can write what you want to write about it. And there's a lot of questions like that. That's why you end up having to try to avoid them. I tend to try to be honest, and I've said I'm not a mentor. I play football. And in a quarterback room, there's a lot of times there's been a ton of times where there's learning experiences, and I have a lot of experience, and I can talk on things, and hopefully they listen. But it's not necessarily like my job to like make sure they listen to me. And hey, like hopefully you have a really good relationship with the guys that are in the room, and you naturally want to do that, But that's. Yeah, that was a long-winded answer, but that's ultimately why I think you guys ask it, Here's the thing is, like, because of what I just said, like, you're acting like I wouldn't want to be a mentor. It's like, once again, it's not really about that. It's just not the main focus. I see myself as a guy that can play in this league. So if your main focus was just like, hey, but I'm going to get you ready, you're just not taking care of business. The best way to be a mentor, honestly, is, like, show people how you go to work, and like I said, hope that they pick up on that stuff, but not necessarily force them to pick up on the things that you do.
This is always first off, great response by Joe Flacco here. I think he did a great job of not only calling out the media on their crap, but also, putting his opinions out there. It's one thing about veterans I love is I feel like older veterans, they really speak their mind. And I don't know if it's because like they're about to be out of the league or they only have so many years left, but it's like a situation where they're not going to put up with the bullcrap, right? They're not going to sit there and accept anything because, hey, listen, they don't have to anymore. What are you going to do? Fire them? They're already like 30, I think Flacco's like almost 40 years old, right? So you kind of get a real life perspective when it comes to these veterans. But at the same time, this is a job of the reporters, right? And their job is to write articles and have catchy titles. And with how many reporters are out there and how many articles being posted every single day to the internet, I do understand and kind of in a way feel bad for them because, yeah, they have to fight a million different people to be on that list of, articles that people actually look at and watch. And in order to keep their job, they need to be the top of the list. So stuff as Joe Flacco said in this video, yeah, they just kind of have to keep fighting and fighting and fighting. And they will try to get every little bit and piece, kind of clickbait they can put out there. So it's a never-ending battle, I feel like, between NFL players and reporters. But again, like I said, it is what it is. It's their job, and that's just kind of how it works. From Flacco's point of view, though, he's spitting facts. Like, everything he said was very accurate, and I give him credit for that because, again, there's not many players call out the media. I feel like to a certain degree, the NFL definitely discourages it as much as possible because it makes the NFL look bad when their players are calling out the media on their crap. But yeah, it is what it is. So shout out to Flacco. It's funny how we just don't see this much nowadays, but I think it's gonna happen more and more depending. Now, to his last point, I will say is, I do feel bad. Well, I don't feel bad. I mean, I do understand that some players don't want to be a mentor. Some players don't want to, train the guy who's going to take his job. As Flacco said in this video, he believes that he's still a starter. He believes he can still start in this league and be very successful. So it's that never-ending battle of okay, well, we drafted this guy, right? Drafted this guy first, second round. He's going to be your replacement. It's like, well, I get it, but I still think I could be the starter, and I'm going to prove to you why I am the starter. So sitting there and kind of training someone to be your replacement, that's a tough thing to do. It's definitely a tough thing to do. And from Flacco's point of view, Is it his responsibility? That's the never-ending, cycle of questions people always ask. I don't really think so. I think at the end of the day, we'll see. If he wants to, he will. If he doesn't want to, he won't. That's pretty much the clear-cut thing. Now, he says in here that, if the guy behind me watches me and learns from me, that's great. But I'm not going to go out of my way to try to, train him to be the best quarterback possible. So, we saw the same thing with Aaron Rodgers, with Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers did not want to be a mentor for Jordan Love. Brett Favre was a mentor for Aaron Rodgers. It's that, cycle that some quarterbacks accept it. Some quarterbacks understand the process. Some quarterbacks are like, no, I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm about. So, it's that, whatever the quarterback wants to do. If they want to do it, they do it. They don't, they don't. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.